Hi everybody, this is Lisa.
And this is Joe.
And welcome to your cheap date for September 2nd, 2006. That's Cheap Date, the show that asks the question...
What's your dream for America?
My dream for America?
Yeah, your dream. What is your dream for America, Lisa?
My dream for America is that no one ever had bad breath.
That's beautiful.
What's your dream for America?
My dream for America is that all of the dogs in the nation will get enough cheese.
I'm not sure cheese is really good for dogs.
That's a good point.
But maybe that's what you mean by enough. Enough, but not too much.
Perhaps.
And that we all get to ride on a sweet-ass fluffy white dragon.
On the tail of a sweet-ass fluffy white dragon. Okay, we should tell these people what we're referring to.
What the heck we're talking about? Well, I live walking distance from a lovely little community theater, the Metropolis. Is a community theater the right thing to call it?
It's really more of a community performance space, I would call it. It's an art center is what they call it, the Metropolis Art Center.
An art center. It's not community theater, meaning that it's
Fred from the bank playing
playing Mr. Scrooge.
Reb Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes, no. And we walked over there last weekend and saw Second City.
That's right.
Which, if you're not familiar with Second City, is what? I don't know. It's a Chicago tradition.
Yes. Everyone knows Second City. Produced Saturday Night Live.
I didn't know anything about Second City.
That's because you're so
Don't
young.
roll your eyes at me. I didn't know anything about it until I moved here.
You watched Saturday Night Live, didn't you? You know who
Yes.
John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd and Martin Short and Mike Myers and you know who all these people are? Mm-hmm. They all came through Second City.
Okay.
There you have it.
So that very same Second City performed a block from my apartment.
Yeah, they have touring companies that go all around the country, and this is one of the local Chicago-y touring companies. And their show, the review that we saw was called Truth, Justice, or the American Way.
Mm-hmm. It was very good. It was very funny. And part of the show was asking audience members what their dream for America was.
Yes.
And also talking about the power of imagination and putting homeless people on the back of a sweet-ass fluffy white dragon.
That's right.
Which you are too old to know.
This is something I did not know.
Is a direct reference to the Never-Ending Story.
Okay.
Now, I can't say anything about the Never-Ending Story. Either you know it or you don't. And if you know it, you're laughing. And if you don't, you're not.
I'm listening. I'm listening real hard.
If you were stop it.
Don't hear a thing.
If you were watching cable as a kid in the 80s, you've seen this.
The Never-Ending Story?
Mm-hmm. It was on TV a lot.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Okay.
And
was it on right after Bill Cosby's Picture Pages? And right before, I don't know, Barney?
I'm too old for Barney,
oh, that's
Joe.
True.
Come on now.
Who was popular? Who was the kid? What was the kid show when you were a kid?
I was a big Mr. Rogers fan.
Oh, there you go.
And Sesame Street. Do you remember a show called Zoobly Zoo?
Yeah, with Ben Vereen.
Yeah.
Okay,
I really liked Zoobly Zoo. I was right smack in the age group for Pee-wee's Playhouse.
There you go. But and as we need to let your listeners know why you didn't get to watch that show.
My brother and I weren't allowed to watch Pee-wee.
Why?
Well, we loved Pee-wee's Playhouse, and one day we were like, "Mom, Dad, you have to see this." We were all sugared up on cereal, and we're laughing like idiots at Pee-wee, and my parents were totally creeped out by Pee-wee.
And that was the end
and
of
thereafter, we weren't allowed to watch
Lisa and
the
her brother
show
were no
or
longer.
the movies.
Aw, that's too bad.
My brother would go watch the movies at friends' houses, but I was a good girl.
That's very good. Way to go, you. You also were prime.
And then, of course, they crowed with triumph when he was arrested
See? We told you. We
They did
told
this.
you.
I knew there was something wrong with that guy.
Oh,
As though what he did was wrong.
you know, the funny thing is my parents said the same thing about Elton John. Thank you. So anyway, back to Second City real briefly.
Oh, right. The reason we started talking.
Mm-hmm. It's a great Chicago tradition, and you're fortunate enough to live right near there. So we were able to go on a Saturday night. We had a couple of drinks at one of our local favorite pubs, and then we just walked across the street and sat in a little intimate theater about
Beautiful.
10 feet from the stage and watched an excellent performance. So if you have an opportunity to see Second City in your town, because they do have touring companies all over the country, check them out. You will laugh your butt off.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Joe, party of two, your table is ready.
Here we are. Every time we do this, I feel like it's a sham.
Why?
Because we're once again in a place that doesn't call you to the table. I have to say, until I moved here, the concept of fast food and national chain, or at least major regional chain like Jack in the Box, the concept of fast food and chain were linked in my head. A chain was not necessarily...
Inseparable is the word I'm looking for.
Inseparable, yes. A chain was not necessarily fast food. You could have Olive Garden or Red Lobster. But fast food...
Or Ed Lobster, as my sister calls it in Scottsdale.
Or Edster.
Edster.
We saw it
That's right.
somewhere down in the south suburbs. But you could not have fast food that was not from a chain.
Correct.
And as we've done before, Friday night we had fast food that was not from a chain.
Correct.
The fast food was from Wally's. Interesting to note about Wally's, the W in Wally's is an upside down golden.
Shh. We don't talk about that.
Okay, don't ever do. Oh, sorry.
It's kind of funny, though, but it's McDonald's M upside down.
But there's no other way our listeners would know if we didn't tell them. There's
and
no
it's
website.
and it's two doors down from a McDonald's. So go figure.
It's blue though. It's not golden.
Right.
And this is your classic Chicago fast food.
Mm-hmm.
Euros, the egg sandwich for those
Right.
fish eaters. I don't even want to hear it. Joe laughed, so it's okay.
I grew up a Catholic. I'm allowed. I'll let
Hot
Lisa slide
dogs,
on
chili
this one.
dogs, Polish sausage, corned beef on rye, shish kebabs, Italian sausage and Italian beef. Now it's called Wally's Euros, and neither of us had Euros.
No, I have had Euros there in the past, and they're delicious. They're on the big spit. They carve them off. You get a huge plate. You can get the Euros plate or the Euros sandwich, and it's
What's
incredible.
the difference between a Euros plate and a Euros sandwich?
There is more on the plate.
Just more of everything?
Yeah.
So you could still make it into...
It's more of a dinner as opposed to the
Sandwiches.
sandwich. Right, exactly.
You still got the pita bread. I had the shish kebab with beef because I didn't think Euros sounded, I don't know, too too rich for me.
Well, here's the story. We were on our way to the Portage Theatre in Chicago to see the final night of the Chicago Silent Film Society's Summer Film Festival. They were showing W.C. Fields starring in a silent movie called Sally of the Sawdust.
Which, can I just say something? If you've never been to a film festival or the silent film festival, you don't have to be in the club to go.
Correct.
If you told me, we're going to a film festival, I would think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pretend like I know what's going on. But
And
no,
I'm going to
you
have to put on a blazer with leather patches on the elbows.
But no, you just go, you buy a ticket at the box office, you go in and sit down, you learn a little bit about the film that you wouldn't otherwise, but other than that, it's just like going to a movie.
Right.
It's not like you have to, I don't know.
You don't have to be
you don't
completely...
Have to jump through any weird hoops.
You don't have to read the footnotes from everything to understand everything that's going on. They tell you all the important stuff right up front at the beginning of the show.
And can I just say, because this is more important than Euros, quite frankly, if you've never seen a silent movie in a theater, you have never seen a silent movie.
With live accompaniment.
A silent movie with live accompaniment is anything but silent. And that's the great thing about it. It's a whole other... I'm serious. Don't write it off if you've never tried it. Now, don't start with Sally of the Sawdust. That was like a 2-hour movie.
It was pretty long.
And boy, 2 hours of silent movie is...
Well, it's a lot.
It's a lot. You have to really pay attention to a silent movie.
It's not like, watching a Tom Cruise movie where you can, well... where you're just waiting for the credits. No, it's not like when you're watching a Tom Cruise movie where you can, like, look away or look down at your popcorn or look at the,
That's right. You have to keep your eyes on the screen.
With a silent movie, you have to keep your eyes on the screen the whole time, because if you miss it, you miss, a title card, you miss whatever. I mean, you can still follow kind of with the music playing because it kind of sets the mood if the organist is good.
But it's less work than watching a subtitled film because there's not that much to read.
That's right. There's much. They raised pantomime to a much higher art.
Yes.
And actually, with a lot of the directors, this was directed by D.W. Griffith, I believe. He was known for not using a lot of title cards.
They're just not dialogue. I mean, you kind of make up the dialogue in your head because sometimes the characters' mouths will move and you can imagine more or less the conversation they're having.
Right.
You don't need to know the exact words they're using. That's not really the point.
So we were on our way to see that. We were on our way to see that movie. It's the closing night, and the thing is that the Portage Theatre is an older theater in Chicago that they recently completely redid, and the place was packed. How many people would you say were there? I mean,
I don't know, but it was
a couple of hundred.
80% full.
Yeah, I mean it was packed.
Only the worst seats were empty.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
So anyway, back to Wally's.
Right.
I didn't want to have gyros because I didn't want to offend anybody nearby.
When we were sitting in close
because
quarters.
there's heavy-duty garlic in those things.
Yes. And I just felt like gyros would be too rich. But the shish kebab was wonderful. It was a really tasty steak skewered with tomato and onions.
Was it like a skirt steak?
It was a... Yeah, it was a...
I mean, it wasn't like a sirloin. It was a cheaper cut of meat, but it was
marinated steak. Yeah, it wasn't really steak.
But it was good.
But it was good. They had a really good rub on it. Nestled with tomato and onions.
Was it nestled? There's a lot of nestling going on because when you go to Superdog, they nestle the. No, they're not. No, the Superdogs aren't nestled. There's another word they use.
No, resting comfortably.
Something like that.
And of course, it came with fries because everything was fries.
Very good fries, I might add. Well done fries, which I'm a big fan of. Well, I am. I'm a fan of well done fries.
I know you like your fries nice and crunchy.
I don't like them like potato-y.
So it was great, and it was like $7.
Mm-hmm. I ordered an Italian sausage sandwich, and usually when you go to a fast food place like this, they give you get the Italian sauce, and they say, do you want hot peppers on it? You want cheese or whatever? You can get a slice of mozzarella provolone on it, or they'll give you hot peppers, giardiniera, which I think is a Midwestern thing,
right?
Which is chopped up peppers and whatnot. You can get that, and a lot of times they'll ask you if you want red sauce on it, which is marinara sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Wally's is one of the few places where I went where I said I'd like red sauce on it. The girl looked at me like she had no idea what I was talking about. She's like, "You mean you want like salsa?"
Yeah, she missed.
I said, no. Like marinara sauce, like what you put on your. They have mozzarella sticks, the fried mozzarella sticks. Like just like what you put on your mozzarella sticks. Just put that. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. Like right on top of it? Well, yeah.
And then you got it on the side, didn't you?
I had it on the side, but you know what? That aside, it was absolutely delicious.
That was weird because then it even says on the menu with marinara.
Oh, here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it says red sauce, 15 cents extra. Go figure. Wally's has been around for a while. It's a very popular place. Like I said, we were there on a Friday night, and it was pretty packed. And there were a lot of people coming and going. People from all walks of life. There were families there. There were couples there. There were older couples there. There were senior citizens there. There were people our age
some
there.
Some people with little kids.
Mm-hmm. There was a guy with a seeing eye dog. So, see, it attracts everybody. There you have it. Anything else to say about Wally's? It's a great place.
Not a whole lot of seating. If it's real crowded, you might have to take it to go.
Right. And it's right on the corner of Northwest Highway in Oakton. That's 1006 Northwest Highway in Park Ridge, Illinois, which is where Hillary Clinton grew up, I might add.
Oh, how about that?
I don't know if Hillary ever ate there, but there you have it. Wally's Gyros in Park Ridge. All right, Sweet Pea.
How are we doing on time?
We're doing good on time. We have a guest review that we have to get to.
Oh, yay.
Our good friend Steve and Maureen from Wicked Good Podcast and Extra Points.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's all.
Oh, come on. One more time.
No, come on.
Okay. Our good friend Steve and Maureen from the Wicked Good podcast and the Extra Points podcast sent us a guest review of a place called Wild Willy's Burgers in Watertown, Mass., which is one of the suburbs of Boston. Wild Willy's, they live in New England, as you might guess. I don't think they live in Louisville, Kentucky, and then drove to Wild Willy's.
This place is really
Mass.
awesome.
It's awesome. It's a burger joint with a Southwestern type theme. There's a lot of Wild West style decorations, from the mural of a covered wagon crossing on one wall, to the map of Arizona and New Mexico on another, to the authentic chuck wagon that takes up a good part of the entrance to the restaurant. This sounds a lot like the place that I went to with Aaron and Jenny and the kids out in Arizona. The main attraction is the burger menu. It's a counter service operation. All the food is grilled to order. So when the food's brought out to your table, when it's done, it usually takes 10 to 15 minutes. The basic burger is called the Willy, which comes with no snickering, which comes with the usual toppings, lettuce, tomato, onion, but it's definitely more fun to experiment with the more exotic burgers. Maureen's favorite is the Bubba Barbecue, which has barbecue sauce, bacon, which she usually leaves off, cheddar cheese, onion, and pickles. Steve likes the Stampede, which comes with steak, chili, and cheese, although he usually leaves the cheese off. They've also got the Santa Fe, which has cheddar cheese and roasted green chilies. The Annie Oakley, which has blue cheese, lettuce, tomato, and onion. I know what I'd be ordering when I was there. Mm-hmm. They've also got a veggie burger called the Cactus. A veggie burger called the Cactus, which his mom has once said is one of the best veggie burgers she had ever had. Ooh. They also have chicken sandwiches, steak sandwiches that come with a full 6-ounce piece of steak cut into 2 pieces. Oh, my goodness. The best part of Wild Willy's, however, it doesn't stop there. The best there's more, are the fries and onion rings. There are no combos, so you have to order everything separately, but it's worth it. The fries and rings are all handmade, and they're absolutely awesome.
Sorry.
Whoa, over there. You okay over there, Scooter?
Yeah.
They give you a ton of fries. When you say lots of fries, Lisa gets very excited. Plus, they give you a ton of them. The small is probably the equivalent of a large fries at a fast food restaurant. The large is more than enough for 2 people to share. They also make their own root beer, which is pretty good, though I find the cup's kind of on the small side, and they also have a full range of soft drinks as well as wine and beer available. Qualifies as a cheap date as well, because all burgers cost around $6 a piece. Fries and rings range from $2 for a small fry to $4 for large rings. They usually eat very well for around $20, and since it's officially counter service, tipping is not expected.
Oh, don't even get me started on tipping.
No, I'm going to get you started now, because what Steve said was, though there is a tip jar on the counter if you feel motivated to tip. It's one of the things they miss most about living near Boston, although they always make their way down there whenever they're in town. It's located at 46 Arsenal Street in Watertown, Mass., near the Arsenal Mall. There are also locations in New York, Maine, and Rochester, New Hampshire, and their website is wildwillysburger.com.
Awesome.
Thank you, Steve and Maureen, for that wonderful guest review.
Thank you. One more reason for us to come out there.
That's right. There's also the chocolate place. Steve also wrote to us to tell us about a place where they'll dip pretty much anything in chocolate.
Yeah.
Could you dip my car in chocolate? That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be awesome. No, really, you can take stuff in there and they'll dip it in chocolate. Mm-hmm. I mean, they sell things pre-dipped too. But if there's something in particular you want dipped in chocolate, they can hook you up.
Rebecca would have her cell phone
dipped. Like a Twinkie, maybe?
Actually, they have done that. So again, thank you for the guest review. If you would like to submit a guest review to the Cheap Date Show, Lisa, how would they do that?
Email dish@cheapdateshow.com.
We would love, and we will read it on the air and give you full credit and attribution and links and, gosh, what else could we possibly give?
On and on and on.
That's right. We also need to mention that tonight's show is fueled by... There.
Jeez.
It's fueled by Banrock Station. It's a 2003 Shiraz from southeastern Australia.
A little easier drinking than your usual Shiraz.
Exactly. And this is a dark Shiraz.
Bursting with flavor.
Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's to you.
Here's to you. Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Okay.
All right. And I think with that, was there anything else we needed to cover?
You can also come leave us a comment at cheapdateshow.com.
Where is that?
cheapdateshow.com.
Do we go over this? Do we have to put the www in front of it?
Try it both ways.
Okay. Cool. We'll do that.
If it doesn't work without it, put it in.
And as always,
Goofball.
we also like to welcome all of our new listeners. In the last week, we've gotten a whole bunch of emails from a whole bunch of new listeners who say that they love the show. So we love the fact that you're listening.
Yeah,
That's totally awesome. There's a preponderance of people who live outside the Chicago area, but they like listening to the show anyway.
They're nuts. Well, tell us where you eat, because we'd like to know.
We would like to know restaurants in your area. Tell us about the places that you go, places that you like, places that you don't like. Any food experience. If Alton Brown came through your town on his motorcycle.
Oh, don't even.
All right. I think that's going to do it.
That's going to do it.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and have a very nice and very safe Labor Day weekend. And we will talk to you next week.
Good night.
This podcast is proudly listed at podcastpickle.com.
Forward thruster shaft, 87% damage. Aft vector guards, 96% damage. Structural breaches in quadrants 32, 34, 40,
What about the engines?
Forward thruster shaft, 87% damage.
Computer, what about the engines? Why don't we have power?
The beryllium sphere has fractured under stress.
It's fractured.
Can it be repaired?
Computer, can it be repaired?
Damage to beryllium sphere, irreparable. New source of beryllium must be secured.
We need another one.
You broke the ship. You broke the bloody ship.
Computer, is there a replacement beryllium sphere on board?
Computer, is there a replacement beryllium sphere on board?
Negative. No reserve beryllium sphere exists on board.
No, we have no extra beryllium sphere on board.
You know, that is really getting annoying.
Look, I have one job on this lousy ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it, okay?
Sure, no problem.